Hi gems, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and rating some of the perfumes that I have tried on my wish list. And I don't know about you, but me personally, I have been a big fan of trying decants because I am not going to sit here and buy a big bottle of a perfume and play Russian roulette. One of the decant stores that I purchased from online was called Scent Decant, and the other one was called Decant Planet. Now to start out this video, I'm going to be reviewing the perfumes that I got from Scent Decant first, and then we're going to go to Decant Planet second. So to start out the reviews, I'm going to be talking about Casmarati Xerjoff Lira. So this is what the bottle looks like. I know like the label looks a bit torn up, but it is a spray bottle, which I really do appreciate. And it's so small and it's tiny and it's cute, so that's why I really enjoy Scent Decant. But yes, I've been hearing so many good things about this perfume, and ever since I got my hands on Dolce & Gabbana Devotion, everyone has been comparing it to Xerjoff Lira. So I knew that I had to try it for myself because I love Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. Like, top notes are blood orange, bergamot, lavender. Middle notes are cinnamon, licorice, jasmine. Base notes are vanilla, caramel, and musk. When I first sprayed this perfume, I was blown away. Like, I was in awe because I'm usually a designer perfume type of girl. This is my first time trying niche perfumes, and this was so impressive. Like, when the girlies are saying this is a gourmand, this is literally a lemon pound cake with sweet vanilla icing on it. The smell is so captivating and alluring and gourmand and sweet. It's not juvenile, it's not childish. Now, when it comes to the comparison between this and Dolce & Gabbana and Lira are like first cousins that are best friends, that people think that they're sisters, but really they're just cousins. You know what I mean? Like, Dolce & Gabbana Devotion, that perfume is lighter and airier and a bit fluffier, whereas this perfume is denser, it's deeper, it packs more of a punch. Like, it has more of an oomph to it, and the lasting power on this, it's amazing. Now, when it comes to the dry down, now in the notes, there aren't any sandalwood, there aren't any incense, there aren't any like myrrh, but to my nose, and I tried all of these perfumes on skin, to my nose, I get a sweet sandalwoody myrrh like scent, and I find it to be so comforting and beautiful. And it's still sweet. It's not cloying sweet, it's a light sweetness, but it still carries the essence of the lemon pound cake, but it kind of just dries down to something a lot warmer and woodier. So when it comes to the rating of this perfume, me personally, even though I'm not a gourmand person, like I don't really care to taste, or I don't care to smell like literal food or literal dessert, I definitely do understand the hype behind this perfume, and I personally would give it like an 8 to 8.5. Now, the next perfume that was on my wish list that I tried out is going to be Initio Musk Therapy. So the notes are white musk, black currant, bergamot, mandarin orange, magnolia, white sandalwood, and hedone. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now, with this perfume, it's spring, right? And none of my perfumes that I have in my collection at the moment is really resonating with me. My perfume, I guess, category, if you will, or scent profile is sweet. Okay, sweet with or without vanilla. Now that it's springtime, you know, the flowers are starting to bloom, the sun is out, it's getting warmer. I really don't care too much to put on my sweet perfume. When it comes to musk, I'm trying. So that's why I'm trying to see if I can, you know, increase my nose palette to other scent profiles to see if I can find a good perfume for the springtime. Anyway, so when it comes to this perfume is very linear. So when you spray this perfume, whatever you get in the beginning is what you're going to get throughout the longevity of the perfume. At least for me, at least on my skin, it has a clean undertone to it. It has like a clean, fresh undertone. And I'm assuming that is because of the citrus that are found in this perfume. And me personally, I am not a clean, fresh citrus or even aquatic type of girl. Like it's just I'm not a fan. Every time I smell fragrances like that, it just gives Irish Spring, and I just no, I can't do it. I'm not a big fan. And also this is quite masculine leaning. On a scale from feminine to masculine, I find this to lean towards the masculine side. When it comes to the longevity of this perfume will last a long time, like up to 8 hours on skin, at least on me. As far as a rating, I will give this a 3 out of 10. Now the next perfume that I went ahead and sampled is going to be Tom Ford Velvet Orchid. In the top notes, there are rum, honey, mandarin orange, and bergamot. Middle notes, it has black orchid, jasmine, heliotrope, rose oil, narcissus, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, magnolia, orange blossom. In the base notes, there are vanilla, myrrh, suede, sandalwood, Peru balsam, and labdanum. Now, when it comes to this perfume, it was really anticlimactic. Like, this literally smells like every other generic women's perfume that you can get from Ross or Marshalls or Target. It doesn't smell like anything else. It just smells like perfume, if that makes sense. It has a bit of a mature undertone to it. Like, I wouldn't wear this. I can picture someone in their 40s and up wearing this, but this is just, it's really nothing special. So as far as longevity, this perfume lasts an okay amount of time on my skin. I would say I only sprayed it probably like once or twice in one area on my arm. So that probably lasted me about like 4 hours, give or take. But as far as a rating for this perfume, I'm gonna give this perfume like a 2-3 out of 4. And lastly, from this Decant store is going to be La Belle from Jean Paul Gaultier. And this bottle looks torn up, so I hope you can tell from the writing. But this perfume I have heard such good reviews on. The bottle is gorgeous, of course, and I think that's how they get a lot of people. That's how they would have gotten me. The top note is going to be pear. The middle notes are going to be tonka and jasmine, and the base is going to be vanilla. This perfume was a disappointment, okay? When I first sprayed this perfume, I definitely do get that pear. And it, you get like a bit of a juiciness from it. As this perfume dries down, this resembles those wooden stick air fresheners. I'm going to insert a picture of it. That is the first thing that comes to mind. It just gives off this annoying, not cloying, because it's not super sweet, but it's suffocating. It gives off this annoying, suffocating air freshener like scent. This perfume gives off elderly. This is what I assume an elderly person would wear. Like, and no tea, no shade to the elders. No tea, no shade. But I'm not trying to give that. I don't understand the appeal to this perfume. Maybe it's me. And as far as longevity, I would say like maybe 4 to 6 hours on skin. Of course, I'm sure it would be longer if you spray it on clothes. When it comes to the rating of this perfume, this is going to get a whopping 1.5, possibly just 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10, do not recommend, but yeah. Okay, so that was all for the perfumes that I got from Scent Decant. The other 3 perfumes I got from Decant Plan. The first one that we're going to talk about is going to be Diptique's Le Papier. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I think it's French. Anyways, this is what the bottle looks like. Now, when it comes to the notes for this perfume, we have musk, white musk, sesame, mimosa, and woody notes. Here we have another musk perfume because, like I said, I'm on a hunt to find a good, decent musk perfume for the springtime because none of my perfumes that I have are really hitting it for me right now. So I've heard a lot of positive things about Le Papier. Le Papier. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I've heard a lot of good things about it, especially from the musk community. You know, people speak really highly about this perfume. When it comes to the performance, it's another linear perfume, just like Initio Musk, and it lasts. It's not as long lasting as Initio Musk. This was probably like maybe up to 4 hours on skin, but this perfume honestly reminds me of rice and an encyclopedia. Literally, it just smells like rice and old papers or an old library. Like, it's not a foul scent, but when I smell it, I'm not happy. Like, I'm not pleased. It's not something that I want to get a waft of. It's not something that I want to go in and smell some more. It honestly, it's quite unpleasant for me. And I do not understand people liking this perfume. Maybe it's because musk may not be my scent profile, but no, I don't like this. And this right here, I'm gonna give this 2 to 3 out of 10, maybe 2.5, just me in the middle. Okay, so that is Le Papier by Diptique. So the next perfume that I got a decant of on my wish list is going to be Byredo's Sundazed. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay. Now, when it comes to this perfume, I have been eyeing this perfume for about a year or 2 now. And that is because a lot of people really enjoy this perfume. People have been speaking very highly of this perfume and of this perfume house. And I really wanted to try something for Byredo that was good for the upcoming seasons. I've heard of other perfumes like Belle Le Parfum and stuff like that, and it's really not giving for me personally. So I decided on Sundazed, and also the notes. The notes really drew me in. Mandarin orange, Californian lemon, neroli, jasmine, sambac, cotton candy, and white musk. Now, to me, that sounds amazing. That sounds beautiful. Now you may be asking, well, Crystal, how did you enjoy it? I'm glad you asked, because I didn't. I didn't enjoy this one, and it's really disappointing. So when it comes to this perfume, I sprayed this on skin, of course, 2 to 3 sprays. And this perfume gives me bitter orange air freshener. Annoying, suffocating, bitter orange or bitter mandarin air freshener. And I am not a fan of that at all. Like, every time, and this perfume lasts, okay? So every time, like, you know, up to 6 hours, 8 hours on skin. So every time I got a waft of this scent, I pushed my nose up because no, I don't like this. I don't like this. Now, you can distinctively smell like all the scents if you just like really analyze it. If you sit there and like, you know, I can smell the cotton. I can understand, you know, the citruses. I get the florals, you know. You can smell all the different listed notes in this perfume. When you sit back and just let this smell engulf you, I wasn't pleased. Okay, I was not impressed at all. Now, I can understand the appeal to this perfume though, but I also don't like it. I may like this on other people, but on me, it was annoying. It was so annoying. I did not enjoy this at all. And so, yeah, when it comes to the rating of this perfume, I'm going to give this perfume, we're going to say 2.6 out of 10. Okay, and that's what I'm going to give this perfume. Okay, and the last perfume that I had on my wish list that I went ahead and sampled is going to be Xerjoff's Dama Bianca. Hopefully you guys can tell, even though it's not that focused. Now, when it comes to this perfume, again, a lot of people have been giving this perfume its flowers, right? Xerjoff, people speak very highly of this brand, especially when it comes to some of its popular scents. This perfume, first off, I think the name is so pretty. I don't know the origin of the name, but Dama Bianca is such a pretty name. So when it comes to the notes, they are top notes of kumquat and lime, middle notes of violet, Italian iris, lilac, Egyptian jasmine, lily of the valley, base notes of vanilla, mott, white musk, ambrette, sandalwood, and cedar. At first spray, I'm just like, hold on, wait a minute. But that's like for like the first 2 to 5 seconds. Then the perfume evolves into something else. Now, with that evolution, it smells like the color purple. That's just the first thing that comes to my mind. It just smells like the color purple. And when I look at the notes, it does make sense because it has a lot of purple florals. So that makes sense, right? So I was like, oh, this smells like the color purple, but also it has a juicy essence to it. Now, me personally, I've never tried Juicy Couture, but in my mind, this is what I presume Juicy Couture perfumes to smell like, if that makes sense. It's not juvenile, it's not childish. It's not like overly sweet or overly cloying. It doesn't have like a champagne notes and sparkling notes and stuff like that. But this is what I presume, I guess, the mature version of Juicy Couture would smell like in my brain. This is a pretty scent. I can understand the allure when it comes to this perfume. And there is someone who, when describing this perfume, she said that this is what Princess Diana would wear. And you know, I think it does give off princess. I can see that. But on me personally, this is not something that resonates with me. I think it's a pretty scent, but it's not a scent that I'm going to reach for, if that makes sense. Maybe in the future, maybe revisit it again. I'm in a different place in my life. You know, my nose palette has evolved. But right now, this is just like, it's cute, but I don't really care for it that much. And so when it comes to the rating of this perfume, I'll just give it a 6, okay? It is nice. I do understand the lore of this perfume, but it's just not for me, personally. Alrighty guys, so those are all the perfumes that I purchased off of my wish list. And quite frankly, I am so glad that I purchased Decant and not anything bigger, because I would have been so disappointed. So I'm so grateful for Decant, and I'm so grateful that these companies were easy to work with and they had pretty good shipping. Yeah, the only perfume that I really cared for would be Lira. Maybe Dama Bianca, maybe. I may want to revisit that one. But all the other ones, especially the Musk, I do not know if I'm a Musk girl. I want to be, but the search still continues. Well, anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you have any perfumes on your wish list that you want, or if you tried perfumes on your wish list that were disappointing or that you liked, go ahead and comment down below. Let's go ahead and have a conversation down there. And until next time, bye.